Alright, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the two books which have helped me with my social life the most. And before I will start, let me tell you something about the books on social skills in general. I have recorded a separate video talking about why reading books on social skills doesn't really change the whole social life of yours. Because here's the thing, man. Reading books on social skills, reading books in general is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic, and there is nothing wrong about reading books on social skills. The thing is that most of the guys would rather stay at home, read those social skills books in their comfort zone, rather than actually go out and experience life. Because I'm a big proponent of reading books to get life experience. I think life is just simply too short to try to get all of the experience firsthand from actual experiences rather than just reading it from the pages of a book. But with social skills, it is exactly what you need to do. You just need to go out and experience life, because social skills, they just work a little bit more easily right here. Because from one, I don't know, if you go on a one night out in a big city, you'll learn more about social skills than you would learn about from one book on any not even one, from three books on social skills. But there are two books in particular, and the second one is more interesting because it isn't directly on social skills. It's a little bit more different, but it's helped you even more than the first one. And those two books, I think that okay, those two books are necessary to read if you're a human being. If not even you're trying to, if your goal right now is not even to improve your social skills, those books are still necessary to read because of the amount of value that they have. And the first one is pretty conventional. It's it's in every social skills, not even social skills, it's in every self-improvement book video. And the second one is more interesting. So I'll start with the conventional one, and I'm going to go through it briefly. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is an absolute Bible of social skills. Probably if you have watched a couple of, let me put it right here. Probably if you have watched at least a couple of videos on social skills, this is a book that you have already you're already tired of how much it has been mentioned in those videos, because this is literally the Bible of social skills. Not a This is literally the Bible of social skills. This book has somewhere around, I think, 30 principles or something like that. And this book is almost 100 years old, but it still stands the test of time. It's the rules there are absolutely timeless. And the funniest thing with that book is that you can think that you think that you have amazing social skills. I'm a naturally pretty extroverted person, so it's easy for me to get along with other people. And at first, when this was one of the first self-improvement books that I've ever read, and when I was kind of debating to buy it or not, I thought that this was kind of useless. It's because it just simply had already pretty good base, kind of a good foundation of social skills. But this is a book that I would say, no matter no matter my opinion on social skills books, no matter no matter what you think about your social skills in particular, it's this book is a must, because those 30 principles are the absolute foundation of how you make relationships with people. Because if you really want to have a good social life and not just an average mundane, I don't know, two friends who you can drink with, social life type of thing, then this book is a must. And as I said, I'm not going to go in details about this book because it's you can find literal courses on this book. This is This is one of the most popular books of like the 20th century. And I'm not going to go, as I said, in details. And I'm going to actually move on right here to the second book, which is much more interesting. And this is, let me say something before I review it. This is not a book on social skills. This is not a book that is like directly on how to like navigate your life with social, like with humans. But this is a book that has helped me massively with my social life, like literally massively, you don't even realize. And the book is The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. So, this book is literally on how humans behave, like on which systems, laws, kind of like codes does the human animal operate, because like we all as humans have some, look man, humans, 95% of human behavior is done unconsciously or subconsciously. When we go about our day, we don't like think consciously on what we're willing to say or what we're willing to express or like any of that stuff. We're just simply, we're pretty like subconscious when it comes to like navigating our life. But the conscious life, or like the conscious brain, can operate based on any rules that you can code in it in like the present moment. The subconscious and the unconscious brain, those two operate on a very strict base of rules and laws that you have dictated to yourself to do. And sometimes you have not even dictated them. Sometimes those are just like evolutionary, integrated in your brain. And those laws on like those evolutionary laws are exactly what Robert talks about in his book. And there are 18 laws in this book about irrationality, narcissism, role playing, like self sabotage, death denial, gender rigidity, etc., etc. It's like, this is a pretty heavy book. And one of them, and look, man, there's kind of like an interesting part of this book that made me actually much more socially intelligent. Because here's the thing, man. Even though I was a naturally like pretty extrovert kid, I didn't have problems with like integrating in groups or like any like society. I didn't have those problems. I was always pretty like the loud, boisterous kid in the class. My emotional intelligence of people was absolutely shit. It's like, I'm not even kidding. The person would like literally start talking to me like, I don't want to, like, it's enough, I don't want to talk to you. Because I have been talking for the last like, I don't know, 3 hours, and I have absolutely rotten their brain, and they wouldn't literally stop. So my emotional intelligence has been always shit. And what I see is basically the people who have high emotional intelligence. And if you don't know what emotional intelligence is, it's basically when you have the ability, and a pretty great ability, to recognize other people's emotions and their like expressions and their like body language, their tone of voice, and kind of like understand their current mood and their current state, like feelings. And this is a very good skill to know, because like all humans have feelings, emotions, etc., etc. And to understand that, it's like, man, it's worth $1 million. But with that book, what it has taught me is not even about like, the main thing that I got from this book has not been like, I don't know, some like law or some laws on like irrationality or like, I don't know, fucking willfulness. Not necessarily, like, I have got from this book, how would you phrase it? This book has taught me more about the role of emotional intelligence in your life than any like or any self-improvement video would. Because here's the thing, man. When Robert talks about, like, in his book, how to like recognize all of like the expressions of envy or narcissism, or I don't know, like defensiveness, and the way you recognize those things is by like paying attention to the people's voice, or to like their facial expressions, or to their body language. It's like, man, when you have read 600 pages of this book, you're by the end of it, you're going to fully understand the power of emotional intelligence. And this is something that I have slowly started integrating in my life. And by the time like I'm recording this video, and I have read this book like a couple of months ago, I can like fully say to you, my emotional intelligence right now is like, it's not perfect, but it has gotten like significantly better. And when I say significantly better, it's like it's better than it's I have better emotional intelligence than like 95% of the people have. And I can fully say to you that like when I speak to somebody, I pay attention to their voice. I pay attention to like their facial expression. It might sound weird, it might sound like insanely weird, but this is exactly what like being a good social animal means. It's like, man, if you really want to maximize your social life, it's not only about learning like the principle of, I don't know, make the other person talk more than you talk and all of this stuff. It's like that is great. But each each social occasion is different, and what you must understand is that some of the rules may not apply to like certain events. And this book, it teaches you exactly the power of emotional attention. What emotional intelligence will give you in your social life is the ability to recognize certain exceptions where you need to kind of like change your tactics, or in, for example, like the normal social advice would be like, this is the absolute basic social skills advice, and it is let the other person talk more than you talk. But with some people, I just have, for living life and understanding their emotions and all this stuff, I have understood is that some of the people just don't like to talk. They like to listen. It's like, for example, one of the like I'm not I have multiple examples in my life this this social pattern. And if I wouldn't know the basic rules of social and the basic rules of emotional intelligence, I wouldn't have understood it. So this book, in a kind of unconventional way, it has helped me with my social life even more than I have read like a couple of social skills books that I haven't mentioned in this video. And this book, even though it is not on social skills, it has helped me more than their social skills books. So those two, the laws of human nature and how to influence and influence people, those two, in my opinion, at least from what I have read, those are probably the best book investment that you can make in your social life. And let me plug in something right here. I have been on self improvement for 1.5 years right now. And if you really want to maximize as a man, if you really want to become the superior version of yourself, I offer coaching. You can learn a lot of lessons from me, and you can shortcut a bunch of trials and tribulations which you will have to go through. So if you want to get coaching from me, my email is linked down below in the description. And with that being said, I hope this will help you, and see you in the next one.